I'll share it out. Hey, good morning. Good morning, Ducky. Good morning, Anne. Good morning, Jennifer. Good morning, Iris and Cypress. Happy Sunday. Yeah, definitely rest and recharge. This morning I got up. Well, first I woke up at 3 a.m., just after 3, and then I stayed up for a little while, and then I went back to bed, and then got up at about 7, right before 7 with the dogs. I did the dogs, and then I climbed back into bed and stayed in bed until just about 9. So, it's a lazy day. I'm going to take a very lazy day today and try and... Oh, your name is Kim? Okay. Hi, Kim. So my name is... You woke up 5 minutes ago? Good, Karen. I hope you got good sleep. I hope you got... Buddha seems to be working or wanting to work. Center Buddha just a little bit. I'm going to turn Buddha off, actually, just for a moment. Hopefully he worked properly. I don't know what it is with my computer. Some days he works, some days he doesn't. The chat is still not working. Good morning, Kristen. So I don't know what's going on. And at this point, I just can't figure it out. I'm not technologically savvy enough. Jen Nichols, I did look at your thing. I did change my prices, and I need some help with those keyword stuff. I don't even know what you're sort of talking about. I know that I put keyword things into the YouTube videos, and I don't think that I have any URLs that I use beyond what's on Facebook, but I did have a website, Engelgeist.com, that I let lapse because I had no traffic to it whatsoever. Nobody ever used it. Most of my business always came through Facebook. So, but I will reach out to you and email you back in regards to that. Yes, I did read your email a couple days ago, actually. And I've just been, I don't know, been busy doing stuff. Today I'm going to try and get another pick a card done for this coming week. I have this thing I want to do with you guys, and I'm not sure when I'm going to do it. Maybe tonight. I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, I need to do it live, I think, the first time, so I'm trying to figure it out. But I want to give you guys notice, but it might be better. I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking too much about it. I should just do it. Just do it. You're on a road trip? Awesome. Jen Nichols is on a road trip. Hey, Rose. How are you? Good morning. Just kind of waiting for people to come in. So, today's our weekly. Let me shut the window because the traffic's starting. It's Sunday. I thought it was going to stay quieter. So we're at Sunday, August 4th. So we're going to do 3 cards for the week. This is going to be the underlying energy, or sort of what we're looking at right now. That energy will change daily, obviously, when we pull more cards throughout the week. But these are kind of like the linchpins, is the way I see it, of like sort of the overall, gist of what we might be dealing with. Again, this is for a collective group of people, and the intention is those who come across it, or those who even come across it later on today or during the week. It's intended to give them insight too. So it will be a broad look at the energy of the week for many people. So it may apply to you, it may not. So don't freak out if it's cards that are like upsetting, or, cards that require a little bit more hard work, especially if you're in a hard situation already or struggling already, for those of you that are new. It's just basically like a weather report, but looking at the energy of what we're doing. Good morning, Tammy. So there's that. And my name is Dan, and this is Engelgeist. A couple other housekeeping things is I have a YouTube channel, which some of you are watching from, and some of you are on Facebook. If you're on either platform, please go to the other platform and like my stuff there, and subscribe or follow there. My business page on Facebook would love the likes and follows, and I know that my YouTube, I love YouTube, the format, so I kind of would love to build up my YouTube, and every time I get a subscriber, I kind of freak out a little bit. So it's kind of fun. It's slowly growing, but I'm working on it. And I don't want fake viewers. I want actual real retentive people that are viewing my videos. So if you aren't on YouTube, or you are on YouTube and you have an account, please go over and like there and hit the bell so you'll be notified when I shoot videos. I also do live pop-ups at night where I do singular cards for people, or groups of cards for people, sometimes for discounted prices or for free if towards the end of the live. But in the mornings right now is the forecast, and this is for everybody that's watching. It's freezing again. Oh no. I hope it's not my internet, because it looks like I'm working good from here, so I'm not sure. So I am going to shuffle the cards. Let's take 3 deep breaths in through our nose, out through our mouth, deep into the belly. And think about positive signs entering into your body, being positive energy with that breath, spreading out throughout your body, and letting go of the minus signs through your mouth, through your exhale, and really release all of that air. It's just a nice visualization to sort of shift the energy in your space. Okay, so let's start that if you want to join me. And while you're doing that, just be conscious of where your body is in the present moment right now. Take another deep breath in. And release. Take another deep breath in and release. Okay, welcome back. Welcome to the present moment as best you can get there. Facebook is having internet issues. Okay, so it's not freezing on YouTube, it appears. Anyways, I'm sorry if it is freezing. And it might be your internet. I'm sorry. I don't know. But I'm gonna go ahead and good morning, Nancy. How are you? I hope you're doing well too. I'm gonna start with the forecast, and if it freezes on you, I'm sorry. You can maybe message me and I can send you what the cards were or something. Okay, so I'm going to ask for Spirit to please bring me cards for the week of August 4th, 2019 through August 10th, 2019. Okay, give me one moment for the collective, please. The energies that we will be dealing with, facing. Please show us what we need to be aware of. August 4th, 2019. August 10th, 2019. So there's a heaviness to the cards. I'm going to say that. I don't feel like it's a resistance. I feel like it's a slowing down, though. It doesn't feel so much like resistance. It feels like almost like grounded more, if that makes any sense. It feels like we're going to get stuff done, but it feels like the energy wasn't moving as fast as the cards were shuffling last week. Does that make sense? So to me, we might find ourselves grounding a little bit into ourselves, into who we are, into what we believe, and sort of operating from there, from a place that feels a little bit more grounded. Spirit. So let's draw the 3 cards. Now, with this forecast, those of you that watch me regularly, you understand each card represents about a day or two during the 6-day week span that I'm looking at, from the 4th to the 10th, until we do our next one on the 11th. But some of you may experience some of these cards for only one day. Some might experience them for the entire week. So be open to that and just sort of, it's just sort of like the idea. There's a lot of flexibility. Energy is always moving, always flexing, moving about and changing and shifting. And for some of us, it takes us longer to get through things, or some of us go through things faster, depending on how we relate to it or accept it. So these are not necessarily set in stone. They are just like sort of guideposts to kind of let us know what's going to go on with the week. Good morning, Jack Wilson. Awesome, 1111 and Kristen Ravello. This morning when I got up at 3 in the morning, I was up and I was kind of trying to talk to Spirit. I was like, okay, why do you want me up at 3 a.m.? And then like a little while later, after a little like kind of closed-eyed meditation that was sort of hard to do because I was trying not to fall back to sleep, I opened my eyes and I picked up my phone. It was 3:33, so I posted it on Facebook in the morning. So I was like, okay. Um, so let me look at the first card for the week. Okay, so let me write this down really quick. Okay, I'm going to put this card up in Buddha's lap and explain it to you guys. It is a mental card. It's one of the crystal suit. So let me get Buddha going here. Good morning, Buddha. Buddha's going to remind us about our own inner Buddha and how to live from that. Actually, let's take the card down and say hello to Buddha. Let him remind you of who he is and how he resides inside of each and every one of us. The card is the Eight of Crystals, which is synthesis. Crystals in this deck deals with the mental capacity or the mental body. So those of us, I think, that are going to be starting off this week, possibly a little bit in our head, a little bit thinking maybe too much, but not thinking too much. This is about like moderating your thoughts. This is about synthesizing. Excuse me, this is going to be a tough one for me without a lot of coffee. Synthesizing one's thoughts to sort of work within their environment, which is a good thing. This is a great card. This is about finessing. When I look at this card, it looks like a radio receiver with all the knobs and buttons, all these different crystals. And these crystals here are somewhat out of balance, or like they need to come back into balance. And so we're working on that in the beginning part of this week over the next few days, trying to adjust the knobs to get our communication right, to get our mind and our thoughts right. And this would make sense after the Mercury retrograde that just ended last week. They do say that there's a shadow period after Mercury retrogrades where things kind of have to sort of adjust and fall back into place. Yay. But that's what this is. And I think this is us getting ahead of that, actively like looking at it. Those of us that are watching this and being aware of it, it is empowering us to really look at our thoughts and fine tune them in a way so that they work for us in our environment in a way that's productive, healthy, and synthesized to what's going on, versus being in, like, say, constant fear, constant worry, constant, frustration with whatever's going on. This is about synthesizing your thoughts and your attention and where you're putting it, and realizing, like, fine-tuning it so that it balances for you, okay? So that you feel more connected, more in balance. And maybe this is part of that grounding that I was feeling, because I was feeling those cards didn't feel necessarily like they were dealing with resistance. They felt like they were deepening, like that they were getting more settled in who they are. Good morning, Jamie. Good morning, Kim. I would use this as, Watchman on the Wall. Engelgeist, I am curious, who or what do you think is the power behind tarot? Where does this knowledge about people come from? I'm not exactly sure. I think that we all have our own higher selves, and if we listen to them, those higher selves are connected to a sort of God. And so I'm not necessarily one that purports to religion, or at least not organized religion as it is today in today's world. I think that it has been morphed a little bit through man's fear, and it's used to control people, and that was never God or Jesus's intention. I do believe God and Jesus exist, and I do believe that Jesus was a prophet, but I also believe that the book of the Bible was written by men many years after, and it has a lot of room for misinformation, mistranslation, and fear-based teachings from it. So that's my take on it. As far as the knowledge of the tarot comes from just different aspects of the psyche, and from there it's also the determination of who's reading it and their psyche and how they read it. So each version and each deck can be individualized. So to answer that as one whole question is kind of hard to do, because I think each person that reads has a different take. Anyways, back to the reading. Sorry guys. Yeah, that would be a great question for the Friday night group. If he's not trying to troll me. I'm not 100% sure he's not trying to troll me. I think we might have some trolls today, but we'll see. Anyways, this is the Eight of Crystals. It's all about balancing our mental thoughts so that we can be more productive in our personal environment. And that is like getting ourselves out of negative thinking, out of the ideas of, oh, this isn't working, this is screwed up, I can't do this. Whatever those thoughts are, releasing those and balancing them with better thinking thoughts, higher minded thoughts, thoughts that are more secure, thoughts that are more based in faith, in oneself, in one's God, wherever that faith is that it needs to come from, that it works for you, let it be there. So you'll be dealing with that for the first few days. So the next card, wow, okay. Funny. Oh my God. Eight of Worlds, change. We had this last month, I think, and it's interesting to me. We have 2 8s coming up. If the third card's an 8, I'm going to get a little bit like weirded out, but that could happen with this deck. You never know. I haven't looked at the third card yet. So this is our midweek card, and this is the Worlds card. Again, we had a lot of Worlds energy last week with the whole family of Worlds cards showing up. We had the Woman of Worlds in the beginning of the week. We had the Man of Worlds at Wednesday. We had the Child of Worlds on the end of the week at Saturday. And so it's just, to me, it says that like there's a lot of stuff that needs to be changed in our material world, and we're aware of it. I think that this 8 of Crystals synthesis card in the beginning of the week is maybe us changing, like balancing our thoughts and what it is we focus on and what it is we want. And then, hey, Tina Chow, thank you for the Reiki hugs. And then once we balance our thoughts, we can start to create the change in our life with those thought patterns and with those vibrations that we're putting out to create the life that better serves us and our highest good and those around us. So this looks like, again, I explain this card all the time. It's about like a shifting and a moving. All the planets are represented. It's like working with your energy, working with your world to sort of not necessarily to manifest it really in how you want it to be. But first we need to sort of get clear on those thoughts, fine tune those thoughts with that synthesis card. Excuse me, my pronunciation. But when we start to do that in the early part of the week, our thoughts are going to start to get more clear, or a little bit more, our desires might become more clear, or we might become more aware of how possible they are and dwelling in that possibility. And as we dwell in that possibility, change will start to take effect. More positive experiences may start happening to us. Like Kim Ciccinetti, I think that's how she pronounces it, keeps seeing 1111. I keep seeing it all the time too. 8 is the infinity sign. Yes, Rose, exactly. So I think that this is a really good card, meaning that once we start to adjust our thoughts and get in balance with our environment, where we start to see ourselves as equal or a creator in our environment, then we start to open ourselves up to the idea of the change that's happening is actually for our benefit, even if we are not sure where it's going to end up, or how it's going to play out, or in which perfect, not perfect is a bad word, in which way it's going to actually accomplish itself. We just allow it to do that. We allow ourselves to, in some ways, just allow our thoughts to stay positive, our hearts to stay open, and and we will be sort of guided through the change. Even if it's sort of like negative change too. I'm feeling this, I need to say this to those of you that are suffering maybe in harder situations. Those changes sometimes need to take place for us to get to another place so that we can experience something better. So take heart in the fact that if there are some shifts or changes where it feels like things are shifting that you don't want to let go of, or that you're fearful of letting go of, I would say try and get that synthesis back where you get yourself out of fear. Because if you're in fear of letting go of something that you expected to hold on to for a really long time, and you're not willing to let it go, you're going to end up sort of maybe creating something else with an equal amount of fear. So, or that creates an equal amount of fear in your life. Like you create something, it's what I call lily padding, like the visual I always get, and I do it myself. I've done it myself throughout my life, where I lily pad from one thing to stay safe to the next, to the next, to the next. And each time I land on that lily pad, like I'm the frog, the lily pad starts to sink, and I'm like, oh shit, I need something different, this isn't working. And I jump to the next lily pad, and that starts to sink too, because I created it from that sort of fear of, oh shit, I need something different. If that makes sense, I don't know. That's sort of where this is taking me. So this change is something that needs to happen, is positive, is something that is the purpose of life, basically, guys. We're not here to sit still and do nothing and not experience life. We're not here to experience change. We're not here to not experience change and the excitement that it can bring, and the evolution that it can bring, and the growth that it can bring. And I feel like this card definitely brings those things. But we do have to sort of clear out the clutter of our minds and be ready for it. And I think that that's what this card is sort of telling us, is the double eights are saying, like, okay, let's get our mind together and synthesize. Let's get this change kicking off, because once we clear our thoughts and we sort of know what we want and how we want it, it'll start to come to us. Now, the third card is the Hermit. Okay. Now, the Hermit's always about old, ancient knowledge, healing, sort of going solitary, going inward, meditation, that sort of thing. And the Hermit is also part of the Major Arcana, which says to me that there's going to be quite a bit of, what's the word, like energy at the end of the weekend for you. But this is the Hermit's energy, right? So to me, it feels like it's about going inward. It's about accessing, letting the change happen, and also accessing a deeper awareness that is within each and every one of us, and believing that that deeper awareness is within each and every one of us. And as we sort of take that solitary time, which sort of the Hermit represents to me, as we go inward, as we say through meditation or through just silent time, giving ourselves time to rest and relax and have a conversation with our spirit, with ourselves, our souls, and say, how are you feeling today? What have we learned this week? What's going on? How, and check in there on that level. There's a lot of healing to be had there. There's a lot of knowledge to be accessed there. There's a lot of strength to be accessed there, right? And so when I look at this card, it says to me, like, by the week's end, we might feel a little bit introverted, a little bit not sensitive per se, but a little bit like we want to withdraw, or we want to go inward. We want to get quiet. We want to sort of center ourselves and access our deeper knowledge, right? Because when we do that, there's a healing that takes place, and there's also a grounding that I think is this is also some of that grounding, where we go deeper into who we are, or what we know, what we want, how we want to go about it, how we want to experience life, what sort of changes do we want to produce in this world before, our time is up, so to speak. These are all questions, what purpose am I serving? What am I doing? What difference, am I feeling fulfilled? This is time in the Hermit to sort of reflect upon that. And I think that you'll be ready to do that, because you will have, in the early part of the week, dealt with a little bit of the mind issue in the first card, and then the changes will start to take effect. And in those changes, we want to go inward and make sure that those are indeed what we want. Okay? Those are indeed the things that are going to best suit our highest good. Those are indeed going to be the things that are bring about our healing and our awareness. And also, I feel like with the Hermit, there's knowledge here that's to be shared with others, that we each individually have. So for those of you that feel like you don't know anything, or you don't have anything to share, you do. It's deep within you, but it's there. And it's sometimes we have to slow down and take the time, like the Hermit, to go be not necessarily by ourselves, but to be quiet enough with ourselves to sort of access that inner knowing, that inner knowledge, that inner awareness. And when we do, magical things happen, beautiful things happen. We stabilize, we become healed, we become understanding of like sort of who we are, and that we're safer in this world than we think. Okay, especially with all the craziness, like the El Paso thing and the thing at Gilroy. I mean, that stuff, to me, I look at that stuff and I try not to look at it, to be honest, because I don't want to give it my attention, because that's not a world I choose to live in. And so I feel horrible for those victims, and I feel horrible for their families, and I will acknowledge that, and I send prayers for them. But I also have to believe that on some level, those sort of experiences are there to show us what we're doing wrong. in my mind, those people are making sacrifices for us that we don't even understand. And until there's a whole section of society that goes, see, that's what's wrong with us. And they go down that path. And they don't synthesize their thoughts to a belief of maybe we can have something better. Maybe we can have something that's higher minded and more peaceful. I believe that if we go inward and we go into the hermit and we take our time and find our answers for ourselves, we start to realize that those things, as horrible as they are, don't require our attention. They require the attention of those that are still in misery, those that are still in pain, those that are still in aggression and anger. They need to be there they're shocking and horrible events that are there to wake up the people that are not woke. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. And I'm not saying that I don't think that these things need to go on. I just think that it feels to me like there's a timer, and the timer's ticking down, and these things are happening on a global scale and on a scale like we've never experienced before, because people are stuck. They're in fear, they're in anger, they're in aggravation, they're just not willing to evolve. And so unfortunately, we have to have these sort of encounters or these things to focus our attention on. The problem is some of these people, when they focus their attention on it, they still go to the negative. They still go to this place of, I'm not safe, I need a gun. And these people are, and yes, these things are horrible, but we have to believe that they're happening for a reason. They're not just random acts of there's a higher purpose in all of this if you believe. And I believe. I'm going to just speak for me. I don't think that those deaths are just messy, unknown. Does that make sense? It's hard to explain. But I do believe that I look at those things and I feel horrible about them. But I also believe that those people have sacrificed something. Those souls have sacrificed something for us to all learn. And if we don't pay attention and we don't really wake the fuck up, excuse my language, then it's going to continue. And it will only get worse. And that makes me sad. That I worry for on this planet. Because that's not what God intended. And there's people with these guns that go and they do these things in the name of the Lord. There's religious wars going on all over the world. Women are treated horribly in countries due to religious beliefs. There are things here that were not intended to be, is my distinct and deep hermit feeling when I go inward and I look at this stuff. So I believe that my job, or what I hope my job is to hopefully bring about some light and some change, and hopefully help people to believe in themselves enough to know that they're strong enough and bright enough to shine bright and be safe and live in a world that is safe. And as more people step into that world and into that awareness, the higher the vibration of the planet raises and the less room there is for those kind of atrocities. And they will fade away. But that's just my belief. You can call me crazy, you can call me whatever, but maybe by week's end, hermit into yourself, access your own deeper inner knowledge, and ask yourself, what do you think what are these things about? Why are they happening on our planet? Are they here to show us and teach us? Or are they just here to freak us out and let us spin? I don't know. I think I'll leave it at that. I don't want this to become a political conversation or anything like that, but I am going to say that that's my take on it. I am very, very sorry for the victims and their families, but I also think that those victims are doing a service for us by having taken on those roles that we don't even understand unless we learn. And I'm talking about on a national scale, maybe even a planetary scale. So that's just how I see the energy around it. I'm going to say this: no matter what's going on for you, it is all just energy. No matter what you're focusing on, wherever you're putting your intention and your attention is a very serious and crucial place. If you're putting it on things that bring misery or sadness or uncomfortability or pain to yourself or worry or fear, you're quite possibly creating just exactly more of that energy. And you're putting that out on the planet. If you can find a small blessing, any kind of blessing in your life, anything that's going right, anything that feels good, or if you can even find the blessing for the situation at hand that you're dealing with, even better. It will help to shift your relationship to the situation. It will help to shift your perception of the situation. And it will also help to shift the power that the situation may have over you. And at that point, you then become sort of not necessarily in control of your life, but you are certainly in control of where you put your attention and your intention. And that helps to mold the experience and the creation of your life. And your environment will start to give you back what it is you focus on. Okay, so with that, I'm going to leave that there. Thank you all for tuning in. Please support the channel if you enjoyed it. Please like, share, and subscribe. Follow my business page on Facebook. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Trying to get this stuff out there. Because if we don't all start to like really look at it for what it is and start to change it, it's not going to change. It may just get worse until we can't avoid it. Okay? That's it, guys. That's it. Have a great week. Have a great Sunday. And we will look at the cards throughout the week this week and see how it all changes. And I'm going to say this, the cards felt very grounded this week. So take heart in that, even with the change and the change of mind and then the change of maybe our personal world. Don't worry. And the Hermit card is definitely a nice card to have at the end of the week where we get to go inward and deepen our awareness of ourself, or if that's our connection to ourselves or our connection to our higher power, to our God, whatever that may be, there's strength to be had there for us. Okay? All right, you guys, have a great day. You're welcome, Aaron O'Donnell, and welcome to the broadcast. Good morning, Lori. Anybody I didn't say good morning to? Hey, Nate, Hanson Bishop. How is does anybody know how Shelby's doing? Any updates? Maybe we'll find out. Hey, Erica Harvell. Good morning, our Showcase Showdown winner. There's the lucky duck right there. All right, you guys, so have a great day and enjoy your day. And if you take your day and do absolutely nothing with it, relish that. You're allowed to. That might be the synthesis your mind needs to balance you in your world. Don't feel guilty. Don't feel, just let yourself relax and be you. You've got this, and, there's a whole fleet of spirits, guardian angels, God, and everybody else is behind each and every one of us, right? They want to see us succeed. We just have to realize that we want to succeed and can. All right. I love you guys. Have a great day. Good morning, Colette McCardle. I'm about to sign off. Sorry. But you can always rewatch the video, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Okay? And keep a lookout, again, on the YouTube channel. I'm going to do something different soon, this week. Okay? Hi, Desiree Lofton. I'm about to sign off. Good morning, Destiny. Good morning, Alyssa McDonald. You're welcome. Have a great day, too. All right, I'm going to sign off, guys. Like the business page. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. There's tarot scopes over on the YouTube channels. There's some cool picker cards over there. I'm going to do another one this week. Just keep it going. Keep watching and let me know what you guys like and what you guys would like more of or less of. Okay? All right. Sorry to soapbox a little bit about that this morning, but it just came up, so we have to trust it. All right. I love you guys. Have a great day. Bye.